Corbett is magic. And it's complete for the touchdown. Corbett, the rookie from Boomer. He grew up in Garfield, New Jersey, 10 minutes from Giant Stadium.
But short of a first down, Corbett was able to work free. What a move by Wayne Corbett.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a kid who is just all heart.
Welcome to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Corbett and Robbie Sabo. Welcome back, New York Jets fans, to the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Corbett. We are here 2 weeks after we broke down Drake London and got Wayne's thoughts on the taller receiver from USC. This time with, I'd say, 2 weeks until the draft, we're going to review Ohio State's Garrett Wilson and see what number 80 has to say and think about his film. Wayne, how's everything tonight?
Things are good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm in the corner of my eye watching the Rangers start, pushing towards the playoffs. It should be fun, Rangers in the playoffs. And I think that both the Mets and Yankees are on tonight. You've been watching baseball?
Yeah, actually, Yankees are up 2-0 right now.
Well, they start at 6:30?
6:40. I don't know if did Mets win or tied 4-4?
I'm not sure. I did not catch it yet.
Yeah, so they're playing game 2 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mets look good. I mean, I mentioned that. That was my pick. I think they're like 7-2 or 7-3, whatever it is. They look good. They got some good bats. Giants are Yankees are kind of sluggish, but sometimes they start that way. But overall, some good parity in the league this year. Yeah,
how about Garrett Cole? Garrett Cole's got to find it for the Yankees, right?
Well, so far so good in the first inning, but you don't know what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah, they need him because, I mean, you got Montgomery and I don't know what else they have in the rotation right now. They got to have Cole.
Right. They got Cortez and Severino, whoever. Cole needs to lead the way, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the draft is, what it was today, Tuesday. You guys will probably be listening to this Wednesday morning, if not Tuesday night. Draft is pretty much right around the corner. We're here. And unlike, I've been thinking about this recently, unlike the last 2 drafts for Joe Douglas, it was pretty simple. I mean, he made the right moves. I think when he drafted Becton, more than the player itself, he said he made an announcement and with authority and said, enough with this nonsense. We have to draft a left tackle. They hadn't done it since 2006. He did that, and I think that was the best message to send. Last year, quarterback Zach Wilson, he knew he wanted to move on from Darnold. No, they're not easy decisions, but they were right in front of his face. This year is kind of different where everything is scattered. Teams could go in a variety of different ways, and they have 2 top 10 picks. So what they're going to do is anyone's best guess. I think the only thing I'm sure of, and I'm not really sure, but mainly certain, is he's going to want an edge player. But that's it. That's the only thing I know for sure. When you're looking at the mocks and getting a feel for this draft, any top of the head thoughts come to mind?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's some good offensive linemen in the top 5 there, but Thibodeau looks like he's going to be around. And I read today that he had a great visit with the Jets. So supposedly if he's there at 4, I think that's their first choice at this point.
You think they're going to pull the trigger on Thibodeau, huh?
I mean, he's solid as they come.
Yeah.
I mean, they said maybe he took it a little easy his senior year compared because, he kind of knows his, where he was in the draft. But he thinks he's the first pick. Hutchinson's going to go, but he thinks he's the best player in the draft, and you want that confidence. But, in Salah's defense, and if they go to 10 and pick up Stingley or Gardner, that's 2 big weapons that Salah could have for his defense.
Yeah, and if you think about Salah's quote, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, where a reporter asked him about the secondary and the cornerbacks, and he said, hey, the best way to play defense is to hit the quarterback. So, that's a message in itself.
And we haven't had that in a while, to where we could rush the quarterback and get hands on without, a heavy blitz package. So, if they could get a front four, an edge rusher like that, certainly be a lot better than last year.
And if you think about the way they plugged holes this offseason in free agency, they got a corner, they got a safety, they got tight ends, they got a guard in Tomlinson. Right. So although Douglas and Saleh, I'm sure they'll be tempted to go Neal or Iquanu, our boy with the last name. I'm on your page here where it's probably edge rusher, cornerback, receiver. I think those are the three spots in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, obviously we're going to talk about Garrett Wilson. So if he's there at 10 or London's there, do you take him? I don't know if they're going to move back a little bit, but they have options. Yep. Where last year, it was, a quarterback. This year, what they picked up in free agency allows them to have more versatility, with those first two picks, what they've done in free agency so far.
Yeah, a lot of different avenues. It'll be interesting. And the other thing with Gardner, he might not last till 10. He might be off the board way before that. There's even speculation he can go at 4 to the Jets. Do they dare do that? I probably don't think so, because I think they really want that edge. But hey, I guess it's a possibility.
Well, I think Stingley, kid from LSU, might be just as good.
Yeah.
Even more polished, going against better competition. So, if Gardner is not there, I don't know how sold they are on the kid. Then Stingley's the guy at 10. I think he'll be there regardless of what happens in the first 9 picks.
Yeah, and then you got Jermaine Johnson, the Florida State edge. You got Karlaftis. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, so my apologies if I'm not. From Purdue, high motor guy, edge. Again, a lot of different options. And the way Douglas and this regime decide to pick will, tell a story from here on out. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like I said, just the amount of options we have, the amount of picks we have, and, what we can do if we move back to pick up more picks. I think the 4th pick is we're not trading that one. Maybe go, right. Move on 10, but 4th looks like it's going to be Thibodeau if he's there.
I tend to agree right now. I think that's the way it looks to be unfolding. Outside chance they go Jermaine Johnson at 4, but that would be pretty high for him, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on that page as well. So let's get into some Garrett Wilson highlights. We don't want to get too deep. We know our friend Joe Blewett does a great job digging through the film, and he recently did that with Burks, London, and Garrett Wilson. So we'll just run through for people watching on YouTube or on the site. We'll run through some highlights. And if you're listening, just go to YouTube, search Underdog Jets podcast. You'll find it. And we'll watch and talk with some commentary along the way. So, Garrett Wilson versus London, Wayne, they're definitely different players. It's a 1A, 1B situation as he catches a touchdown on a post easily, wide open. Let's watch the route here. Where is he in the slot? Yeah,
Yeah, he takes the cushion away to get that guy on his heels and turns him. But what I noticed is, you sent this to me, the separation this guy gets.
Yeah.
He's pulling away from this guy. He attacks his technique, and look, he turns him right there. And
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
It's like I said, the way I felt about London was more of a, like I said, Mike Evans kind of guy. And just watching this guy's routes are more of like a Justin Jefferson kind of guy, a Stephon Diggs kind of guy.
You know who he reminds me of too? Santonio Holmes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. And not just because of the Ohio State thing, just the way his feet are. He's sometimes a long strider.
Yeah.
And I like his feet a lot more than London's. I'll say this. London is more polished in terms of reading defenses, I think. But Wilson, so his route running is better, London's, but Wilson's feet are really good. And I think his potential might be higher.
Yeah. Listen, I was impressed with London when we watched the film, a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't watched a lot of film on Wilson, but watching this, I wish they had, more of the focus on the routes. Sometimes he's out of the picture until he catches the ball.
Yeah,
From what I've seen on the replays, when they focus on the one-on-one of it, yeah, this kid gets unbelievable separation. I think just based on the first 5 or 6, routes and catches, that I'm starting to favor him a little bit more.
Ooh, okay. You know what we'll do? Depending on who they draft, we'll actually review. Here we go. Here's a one-on-one. See, that's a ridiculous route. And it's a great catch.
Yeah, he's got an outbreaking route, but he attacks the inside
blind
shoulder.
spot. Blind spots.
The blind spot. And this guy's got to do a baseball turn.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy can't stop. He has to do a baseball turn. And that makes it tough on the defender. You know what I mean? The fact that he released outside and then straightened up and leaned back in. I mean, yeah, he's dead.
He turned him twice. I mean,
and the way he dropped his weight, that's really, really impressive.
Yeah, what we'll do is, depending on who they draft, we'll review the actual all 22 film so we can get the one-on-ones after the draft. So depending on who they draft, hopefully they take a receiver now so we could dig into that. But for now, before draft, we wanted to keep it simple while Blewett, focuses on the big stuff. Yeah, see that?
Yeah.
He's always pretty controlled. And when it's a one-on-one situation, he's not reading everything. That's where and I'm not saying he can't read. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you don't really see it much on film based on all of his weapons and all of his teammates. He had a lot of good weapons playing aside of him. Olave, the tight end.
This quarterback, Stroud, he's
pretty good.
He's putting it right on him. I mean,
look at that stiff arm.
Quarterback friendly, but he's trying to make plays that, trying to score on every play, obviously, but I just like the way he attacks the defense. And he's sure-handed. Yeah. The ball sticking to his hands. There's no double catches and there's no body catches. I wonder what his comparison was. Did he perform at the combine, Wilson?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he did. His 40 time is nothing to write home about. In other words, he's not a elite burner. So he doesn't have the top end speed. But again, you really don't need that. If you're a route runner and you're quick in and out of breaks, that's the thing. And I think that's where he really excels. Yeah.
He's, he runs, he's not a straight runner and goes the 9 routes from the outside. When he does get deep, he's in the slot.
Right. 6 foot. He's about 6 foot. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's not the biggest guy. Your comparison, who did you say after Jefferson? Diggs. Diggs is a pretty good comparison.
Yeah. Not the big body, but definitely a good route runner, drops his weight.
Yep.
And a lot of times when he's coming out of breaks, he comes downhill away from the defender. So essentially the defender would have to go through him to get to the ball, which can, bring a pass interference or something. So definitely quarterback friendly.
Yeah. I would love to see if they draft him, we'll go over the film. I would love to see how he stacks defenders if he gets deep based on his height.
Right.
But everything else looks pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure where he's, where they pick him to go or who's the first receiver off the board.
He's general consensus number 1 right now, but it's close. Okay. But it's close.
Yeah. I always think, Burks and then him, London. I just think, obviously he's got, Olave on the other side, taking some attention away.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid is definitely a starter right away and certainly an impact player, right from the jump.
Yeah, especially in today's league too. You don't need the size.
Yeah.
Like you used to. He's got hops too. He can get up. His vertical's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, looking at this a little more, like I said, maybe I changed my mind a little bit since I was touting Drake London as the next guy, the next Mike Evans in the league.
It's close. It's close. And the good news is that they're not going. There's a chance that neither of them go in the top 10. So there's a chance that if the Jets go Thibodeau at 4 or Gardner at 4, that both of them will be there at 10.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll play out that way, but there's a chance.
Well, also, if it's not one of these two, the kid from was it Jameson Williams?
Yep, Jameson Williams.
He's coming off an injury, so he might slip a little bit. Maybe that's something they can get. We haven't watched film on him.
Yeah.
But if they have a choice, I think at this point, look, he's a hand catcher.
He is. And he jumps too. Like he has no problem getting up. See, again, receivers so deep every year. It's just the nature of the sport these days. College football, there's like 90 plays per offense every game. I still think they have to remove the stop the clock after first down rule. College games can't be taken longer than pro games, but that's another story. That's another story for a different day. But so many receivers, it's so deep. So knowing Douglas, listen, Jets fans, if they don't take a receiver at 4 or 10, don't lose your minds. Don't lose your minds, because it's really deep. He can get another one and be fine. I mean, you got Elijah Moore, early second last year. There he goes on the bubble screen. Look at that cut.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, say we don't go receiver, say we go edge. As far as edge rushers, after Hutchinson and Thibodeau and the kid from Florida State, is there a big drop off?
You got George Karlaftis from Purdue, who's more of he's not an athletic freak. He's more of a high motor guy.
What I'm saying is, the receiver is a lot deeper than the edge and the shutdown corners. I mean, I haven't heard too many names besides Stingley and Gardner going, in the front half of the first round.
McDuffie would be the third guy.
Okay. And then I know Hamilton, the safety, be the first safety off the board, maybe the first DB off the board.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I'd love to get a kid like this, but if receiver is the deepest position in the draft, maybe you do go one to edge, corner safety kind of picks.
Yeah. I mean, picking up DJ Reed is a big move at corner, because it doesn't put you in a situation where you feel forced to have to take a corner.
Now, what's the word on? Did Deebo Samuel get his contract from the Niners? Is he still on the trading block?
There have been different quotes that have come out saying that they're not interested in trading him.
Right.
So I don't think anything's going to happen there. But there's been some strife with AJ Brown recently on social media. He's been tweeting up a storm. I don't know who it was, but apparently he's getting the sense that the organization or people within the organization are calling him a bad teammate. So the AJ Brown stuff is heating up.
Yeah, well, anytime there's a contract negotiations coming up, they make you seem like you're not a good teammate, you're not a good player. Right. They put the pressure on you in the social media and the public eye to maybe take a lesser deal or something. So I don't believe in all of that stuff. I know Samuel wiped his social media of all 49er related stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And they're saying, would he be the same player in New York? But he had LaFleur
in San Fran.
In San Fran. So certainly they could use him the right way. But if they get either one of these kids or a guy like Samuel, add them to what we have already. Zach's got some weapons. And, we talked a couple weeks about McBride as a second or third round pick, the tight end. With Zuma and with Conklin now, and one of these guys throwing a mix, one more guy to protect Zach, and you got a, top half of the league offense potentially.
Yeah. And it will be, philosophy wise, if there aren't options there and they have to go to a certain position because the options are that's where it is.
Right.
I understand. But if the options are there, it'll really tell us a lot about this regime, because another need they really, really need desperately is interior defensive line.
Right.
Letting Foley go to Jacksonville. I think it was the right move because he's more of a zero tech, nose tackle, 3-4 guy, but they have a dire need in there. And that kid who's 340 pounds, I don't know if they view him as a scheme fit. I think he could play in any scheme. What's his name? Jordan Davis. I haven't really watched much on him, but he's projected to go mid-first round.
Okay. I don't know much about it. Where's he from?
I think it's Georgia. I'll double check it. Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the back of the mind, because knowing Douglas and Saleh inside out, he's the wild card to me.
Yeah, you need that push up the middle. And like you said, you get these guys. Is Lawson coming back healthy now? Carl Lawson?
Lawson's pretty much back because voluntary OTA started already and he was there.
He was tearing up Becton in training camp before he got hurt.
He really was.
You
with
put
his
him on the
hands.
outside with Thibodeau. Yeah, and you have Quinnen inside, get another guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man. I'm not saying they're going to be, top 10 in the league, both offense and defense, but they'd be certainly top half. You know what I mean? Not, ranked in the, 25 to 30 range. And I listen to the talk radio and stuff like that. We're not a lot of pieces away from being a very competitive, potentially playoff team. With this draft added to the free agency, they're close. I know you have to win some games, maybe you shouldn't, during the year, but you got to win the ones you're supposed to win. You get a couple of those games, you're a wild card. You're in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, think about how poor their run defense was last year. Dead last in the league, just gaping holes.
Well, also, we were behind a lot. So other teams were running the ball just to run out the clock.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to pass. So that's misleading. But certainly they gashed us on a lot of big plays last year.
For sure misleading. But the point is, don't be shocked if they go edge at 4 and then that big man in the middle at 10 or trade down, knowing they can get that big man in the middle, at 18, 20, early 20s.
Yeah, well, if you move back for that big D lineman, certainly one of those good receivers is going to be there. So maybe you get all three. You're just not going to be getting Gardner or Stingley.
Yep.
One, top two. But we did bring a couple of guys in already, in the secondary. So like you said, we haven't found that big push up the middle in free agency yet. So maybe we get them in the draft.
I think I'm leaning towards that as the best case scenario. Edge at 4, trade back, get that big man in the middle. If they view him as a scheme fit, he's a really big dude. If they view him as a scheme fit in Salah's defense, rundowns, these big D tackles won't be out there for sub packages, and then get an extra asset and get that receiver late first round.
I agree. So what's the next step from here? Who else are we looking at in the next,
check
7 to 10 days?
Check out this back shoulder here. 1-on-1, no separation. Goes up and gets it, times it perfectly. I mean, he doesn't have the size, but he definitely wins battles.
I wouldn't say he's lacking size. I mean, he plays big.
Yeah.
He plays bigger than he is, but wow, this quarterback's not bad, man.
No, that was a good play. That was a good placement.
But he's pretty good.
That was good placement. And against Michigan in the big house, snowing.
Yeah, he plays bigger than he is. And I'm not saying he's small by any means, but compared to some of the other, big
I'm thinking
guys
of London. Yeah. And shout out to Colton Denning on YouTube for the video that we're reviewing. We'll link it in the description.
Yeah. This kid's more fluid than London.
He's smooth. Yeah. I love his feet. He's not nearly the perfect route runner, not even close, especially when thinking about, coverages as a whole, but absolutely. He looks the part for sure.
Yeah. And he's playing inside and outside.
Yes. He could play everywhere. It's tough. Yeah.
Right.
It's tough. It might be tough to get London inside.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Any whispers we hear of them trading back or something like that in the next week to 10 days.
Yep. We got one more show before the draft, which will be next Monday. We'll kind of put a bow on the draft preview. Head to iTunes, rate and review. It's the best thing you could do. Subscribe on YouTube. Head over to jetsxfactor.com. Look for the Underdog Jets podcast in the menu. Use that discount code 80. I just came from the post office a couple hours ago, sending out more signed photos of you, Wayne. Actually, I might need to have you mail me over a few more because I'm running out.
Yeah, awesome. Everybody using discount promo 80. Like you said, you haven't mentioned it. What you text me last week about the traffic on the site and where we rank as far as Jets related sites.
Yeah. Jets X Factor is bringing in the traffic, folks. I mean, close to 750,000 readers, monthly readers in March, right? It's April right now. Yeah, in March. So we're right up there. I mean, we're really bringing in the traffic. The content is tremendous. I mean, that's what really gets it done. The quality content of the videos, Bluett's breakdowns, Nania with his analytics, Corbett hopping on. There's a lot of good things coming up, which we'll keep secret right now. But a lot of good football stuff. Yeah.
And like I said, I look forward to checking out the site every morning, and everybody that hears what I talk about on this podcast, be sure that I find most of this material from these articles on the site. So I hope everybody enjoys it, and hopefully we get into some more stuff next week.
Just wait until we get Wayne writing, folks. Just wait for that. That's coming. I'm telling you.
That's coming in the season.
It's coming in the season. Some game breakdowns. And also, too, don't forget, we have the app, JetX Mobile, JET space X Mobile on Apple and Android. So you can get real-time notifications. A lot of people check it out that way as well.
All right. Sounds good, man.
All right, Wayne. We Jets fans, we will catch you next Monday. Be on the lookout for this wherever you get your podcasts, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And, stay tuned to Jets X Factor. The draft is right around the corner, OTAs, rookie minicamp, and away we go. Until next time, we'll catch you later.
Take care.